All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back from your winter break. I hope everybody had a safe and happy one. I understand the weather was none too pleasant, if I'm not mistaken, up there. Um, so here we are back in the saddle, and we are at our eighth week. Okay, so that is right around, if not exactly at the midpoint of our whole semester. Not exactly though. Again, as I've said the past few videos, as we began on the 8th of January, and as there are 29 days in February this year, the schedule is a little uh, goofy, for lack of a better term, with all that to consider. What this all means is that we're probably going to have at least one extra week. We're not slated to begin our second portion of the term, which is 1102, which is the literature section, until Blackboard has it rolled out on the 17th of March, which is a Tuesday. I might ask our Blackboard coordinator to open that up on the 16th, Monday, which makes sense. We start our week on a Monday. But in any case, whether it's the 16th or 17th, that's still a good chunk of change away, at least a couple of weeks. So we're going to have time, probably, no set it in stone promise yet, but most likely, that we'll probably have time to redo our research essay, meaning, of course, that's going to be due, your research essay, your MLA research essay on your argumentative persuasive topic is due by the end of this week, March 1st, the Sunday. But we'll probably have time after I grade that. Maybe I'm still kind of working it out here. Depending on my grading schedule, we might have time to make corrections for a better grade on that essay. Okay. Still kind of in the liminal stages of thinking about that right now, so don't quote me, but possibly, maybe even likely. So we'll table that for right now. Possibility to earn credit back on your MLA research essay, but first you have to submit it. That's due by Sunday the 1st, okay? And again, it is basically, you've already given the skeleton of it with your persuasive argumentative no research required draft, which, by the way, will be turned around, graded back to you this week. Last week was a homework, classwork grading week. This week is an essay grading week. It's the second week of the 2-week window. So you guys can expect those back this week. Hopefully, I could get them back, most of them back, in the first half of the week, so you guys can look and see where you might need to improve in the days remaining for your MLA research essay to be due that Sunday. So I'm going to try my best to get those back to you in a timely manner this week. Also, if you have any questions draft-wise, I'm going to conscript Mr. Churchwell to help me out here reading over your drafts, because I'm going to be kind of nose to the grindstone trying to get these grades back to you this week. So while you are encouraged to submit drafts, MLA research drafts to me using your Galileo found research, no promises that I'll be able to turn them all around to you. Again, as always, it's best to get those to me first half of the week, like by Wednesday. But Mr. Churchwell and I will do a tag team effort there, need be, to help facilitate that for you all. So I have the specs for the research portion, the research version, I should say, of the essay on our week 8 announcement. It's an itemized list, numbers 1 through 6, so you guys can read those. No big gotchas or surprises. The only thing that's different this time, of course, having added your research from reputable academic scholarly sources that must be found in the Galileo databases. The page requirement, the minimum page requirement up to now has been 2 to 3 pages, okay? This, though, is 4 to 5 pages minimum. So minimum 4 pages of text. That doesn't include your works cited page. So I don't count the works cited page as a page in the required page count. Okay, it's got to be 4 uh, sensibly spaced Times New Roman 12-point font with the heading, the MLA heading, a title, your page number, last name upper right hand corner, 4 pages. Of course, the heading is only on the first page, but 4 pages of text. Okay, so keep that in mind, and I've bolded that in the little list here in the announcement, just to catch your attention. That's what's on slate this week, everybody. What amounts to being your final assignment for this half of the core, for this half of the term, the 1101 half. Otherwise, you have a journal that I have to grade from last week. We might have time for one more journal on MLA research. But other than the paper, the MLA research paper being due this week, there's one other thing, and that's the blog. It's a blog week, okay? Of course, the blog is voluntary. You don't have to do it, but it behooves you to do it, okay? This will be our 3rd blog, and very well might be our final blog opportunity for this course. So I'm probably going to award you all, I think I have on the announcement 1 to 2 points for each blog added to your final essay, your MLA research essay. Since there are only 3 opportunities, though, I might throw a few more points your way for so if you participated in each of the 3 blogs, I'll probably award you a minimum of 2 points per piece, somewhere between 2 and 5. We'll see how the grades are, and see how best to apply those bonus points in a fair way. So if it's minimum 2 points per blog, you participated in all 3 blogs, you could expect a minimum of 6 points, probably more like 6 to 10 points when it's all said and done on your final paper. And that's a whole grade boost. Okay, brings you from a C to a B, B to a A, D to a C, etc. So it's a great opportunity for you all. So I will be participating in the blog with you all this week. The blog asks you to think back on the Jonathan Swift and William Hazlitt pieces. And when I was grading the discussion forum on that, and I know the questions I asked were, is this guy, Hazlitt, really pro-hate? Okay, which is a yes or no question, essentially. You could have said yes, all right, based on your reading. What about Jonathan Swift's modest proposal? Be honest. Upon your first read, were you horrified and repulsed? That's a yes or no question, too. But I just want to reiterate, okay, that I, as an instructor, as your professor, and college and high school, elementary school professors over the past 200 to 300 years have not assigned these pieces to you all to kind of give a megaphone to legitimate pro-hate or pro-cannibalism treatises, okay? I can never say that word right. Whatever the plural of treatise is, or treatise. You all understand what satire is, okay? I hope, all right? And again, I don't mean to patronize or condescend, but from my observations, the Zoomer generation, the Gen Zers, most of you all out there, if you were born 95 through the aughts, okay, have a hard time distinguishing between legitimate argument, legitimate, forthright, unadulterated, unambiguous argument, and argument that has kind of a sheen of irony or satire, okay? Irony, remember, is saying one thing, doing one thing, being seen as doing one thing, but you actually intend or are doing the opposite or are meaning the opposite. There's situational, verbal, dramatic irony. Satire is when you are mocking something with the intention of wanting to reform or fix that thing that you are mocking. Okay, so I just want to reiterate, the Hazlitt and Swift pieces, while they do have very acerbic, kind of splenetic language, and maybe the two men, I know Swift was kind of a misanthropic type. He had kind of a dim view of human beings. his speaker or narrator in that essay is not literally advocating cannibalizing children. That's not the point, okay? And I'm sure you all understood that, but at first blush, reading the thing, heck, you might be stymied by it. It's a modest proposal, after all. Of course, that's ironically put. Um, but it reads as though it's legitimate. Okay, he's got it all figured out. All the numbers are there. Hazlitt really taps into something, I think, a certain pleasure or satisfaction, a sort of adrenaline rush that we get out of hating people or engaging in these conflicts with people. Okay, but these are two writers who have a great amount of wisdom that few people had then or have now. And they realize that they are, their project is to comment on this darkness of humanity, not necessarily to celebrate it. Okay. So I just wanted to make that clear, just so that we're all on the same page there. In any case, back to just underscore what's due this week, final word, and I'll get out of your hair here. Final essay due this week, MLA research essay on your argumentative persuasive topic. I'm going to get the grades back to you this week, your argumentative persuasive, no research required essays, and you have a voluntary blog assignment due this week. In terms of checking over any drafts, you are free to send them to me. I might not be able to get to all of them. Do it during the first half of the week, please. Mr. Churchwell, I'm sure will be happy to look over those with you. And a final word I didn't mention, beware of the nasty plagiarism, bugaboo, monster, fiend, whatever you want to call him, okay? Don't plagiarize, okay? Whether it's intended or unintended. I have what's called safe assign on this essay, and you all will be able to look at the report, okay? The safe assign report basically highlights questionable text in your essay that alerts to me, hey, we found this exact same verbiage in another student's essay, okay? So this isn't me out to get you, but, let's be honest, people plagiarize. People gonna plagiarize, okay? Maybe it's none of you, okay? Maybe you're minding your P's and Q's, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, all right? I assume that you are. But just be extra careful, okay? And again, you will, I enabled the Safe Assign feature for you all to look at your originality report, okay? And again, there's a reason why I don't do these too often, because I understand that machines, computers can get a little overzealous and qualify things as maybe being in the realm of plagiarism, but it's not really. I'm not necessarily taking the report as gospel truth unless there's like a one-to-one match, like the Safe Assign report produces findings that you just lifted the essay from somebody else whole cloth, okay? Unless you've done something that egregious, I wouldn't worry about it, everybody, but do try to be scrupulous and careful, okay, please, all right? Anyway, that's it. Best of luck to you all on your final assignment. Any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them on over my way via email, and here we go, back at it after our break. Have a good one. Talk to you next week. Bye.